Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. My name is Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. I am coming to you live from Newton South High School in Newton, Massachusetts. Here to bring you live coverage of tonight's high school varsity girls basketball contest between the hosting Lions of Newton South High School and the visiting, excuse me, I'm so used to home games. The hosting Newton South High Lions and the visiting Brookline High Warriors. This should be an interesting one, folks. I checked back through the records. I have never seen, in the past few years that I've been covering this Brookline High girls basketball team, I've never seen them actually face Newton South before. So this should make for an interesting matchup. On paper, Brookline with a clear advantage. The Warriors coming into this one with a record of 5 wins and 4 losses. And this morning's updated MIAA Division I power rankings had them ranked 17th in Division I. Newton South, meanwhile, having a bit of a rough start to their season. They sit at 2-8. They're in the middle of a 4-game losing streak, and the power rankings had them in at 40th. So again, on paper, advantage to Brookline. But what do we always say, fans? We don't play these games on paper. We play them on the court. I'm also happy to say that this broadcast is brought to you in part by Brookline Proven, your local source for home improvement contractors. BHS sports parent Paul Hom and his team can do anything from remodels to handyman honey-do lists. They live in Brookline, they work in Brookline, and they know just what a Brookline home needs. Visit brklnproven.com or text Paul at 617-352-8829 to find out more and discuss the scheduling, pricing, and specifics of the services your home needs. Once again, that's brklnproven.com or text 617-352-8829. And thank you again to Brookline Proven for sponsoring this broadcast. And you can see all the information you need about Brookline Proven, our local sponsor, down in the bottom center of your screen. You can see the URL and the phone number there. You can also find them down in the description section of this video down below. I always encourage fans to support local businesses, especially those local businesses that support their fellow local businesses. You know, I work here in Brookline. I don't currently live in Brookline. Can't really afford it, but I do work here in Brookline, you know, and I am effectively a local business in that sense. And so these businesses that sponsor me, they're sponsoring a fellow local business. They're sponsoring the coverage of these local Brookline High games. So I always highly encourage you to support those local businesses that are looking out for the community. As you can see from the scoreboard cam in the bottom left corner of your screen, we got about a minute and a half before we get this one underway. Brookline coming off a nice win against Framingham at home a week ago. Last Tuesday, a 61-35 final with a nice scoring spread that featured 3 players scoring in double digits. Jada Kimbrough and Skylar Makaluski putting up 13 each, while Nefeli Agakich tallied 11. Those are Brookline's 3 leading scorers right now. Jada Kimbrough averaging 12.4 points per game, Agakich averaging 10.3, and Makaluski averaging 9.9. I assume a PA announcer is going to take over soon to give us starting lineups. There it is.
South High School for tonight's girls varsity basketball game between Brookline High School and your Newton South Lions. We ask that you join us in promoting character and sportsmanship in high school athletics. Newton South embraces diversity Please follow the directions of our game staff and act in accordance with the MIA sportsmanship guidelines. Those who choose not to will be asked to leave. Thank you for your cooperation in making our games a positive experience for opponents, officials, and our teams. The officials of today's games are certified by the MIAA, and their knowledge and integrity qualify them to call this game. First, let's meet the Warriors from Brookline. Number 2, Isabel Wood. Number 3, Jada Kimbrough. Number 4, Ivy Wheeler. Number 13, Nafela Agakich. Number 21, Skylar Makaleski. And now for your Newton South Lions. Number 12, Sarah Schwartz. Number 13, Libby McKeague. Number 14, Quinn Adams. Number 23, Kelsey Harris. And number 32, Chloe Kazosian. We now invite you, those who are able to rise and remove your hats as we honor our country with the playing of the national anthem.
All right, we just got our starting lineups and national anthem. The usual suspects starting for Brookline: Izzy Wood, Jada Kimbrough, Ivy Wheeler, Nefeli Agakich, and Skylar Makaleski. For Newton South, the starters: Sarah Schwartz, Libby McKeague, Quinn Adams, Kelsey Harris, and Chloe Kazosian. All right, the team's coming out onto the floor for the first of 4 8-minute quarters. Again, you can see the scoreboard down in the bottom left corner of your screen. Information for our local sponsor, Brookline Proven, in the bottom middle of your screen. And, of course, the action right there in the middle of your screen. Opening tip-off, set to get going. It'll be Skylar Makaleski against Chloe Kazosian. And here we go. The opening tip-off is corralled by Jada Kimbrough, and we're underway here at Newton South High School. Kimbrough gives to Nefeli Agakich at the top, back to Kimbrough on the wing. Holding it, looking around, throws up top to Wood. Given back to Kimbrough, go inside, Makaleski, back door. Ivy Wheeler had a look there, but blocked from behind by number 14, Quinn Adams. Kimbrough now looking for the inbound. Throws it up, deflected, out of bounds, this time by number 23, Kelsey Harris. Newton South defense making its presence known here to start this first possession. Kimbrough gives to Agakich inside Makaleski, and they call traveling. Bit of a surprising call there, but it will be Newton South ball off of the turnover. Brookline showing a bit of press. Pass just barely gets through. And across half court, Kelsey Harris pass broken up. Stolen by Jada Kimbrough. Kimbrough throwing it up, blocked, saved in bounds, and it's recovered by Sarah Schwartz. A long pass up, looking for Harris. Harris turns around, chucks it back. They go up top. They swing it around. A three-point attempt, no good from Libby McKeague. Nefeliaga Kitch throws inside to Ivy Wheeler, outside to Izzy Wood. Down low to Makaluski, out to Wheeler. Wheeler's pass is deflected, but does get to Kimbrough. Out to Aga Kitch. Now over to Wood. Wood throws inside Wheeler. Out to the corner, Aga Kitch. Floats one up, and it is going to be stolen away. Pass goes up, Chloe Kazosian, turnaround, layup won't go. Rebound to Aga Kitch. Another takeaway by the Newton South defense, but they cannot quite capitalize. No score yet. Wood throws out to the corner to Aga Kitch. Up top to Wood. Around Kimbrough, tries for three. Nothing but net. Jada Kimbrough with the first points on the board, and she does it from downtown. That pass disrupted, but stolen. Ivy Wheeler throws it up. Skylar Makaluski goes for the layup, won't go. Nefeliaga Kitch on the putback does make it happen, and a timeout's going to be called. Brookline had a bit of a rough start to this game. Couple of bad turnovers, but they seem to be getting into a rhythm here. Now with a 5-0 lead. But they certainly have to settle things down in terms of fitting their passes through. Newton South's showing that they're going to hop on those passing lanes if you go for slow, lazy passes. A three-pointer from the wing by Jada Kimbrough, and then a 2-point putback layup by Nefeliaga Kitch has given us the points we currently have here at 5-0. We are 2 minutes even into this first quarter. 6 minutes exactly on the scoreboard. The inbound goes to Harris. Harris dribbling into the corner, got trapped but passed away to Quinn Adams. Swinging it around, Chloe Kazosian running baseline, weaving around. Layup off the front rim, but she gets her own board. Throws it out, Harris for three. And that one hits the support ropes. So even though it went through the net, it doesn't count because if you hit any part of the support of a basket, that's automatically out of bounds. Kimbrough gives to Aga Kitch. Throws down to the corner. Ivy Wheeler overshoots the three ball, but Quinn Adams can't quite fully collect that rebound. Lost it out of bounds. And it will be Brookline ball. Kimbrough looking around. Chucks it up top to Aga Kitch. Swings away across to Wood. Throws down to the corner to Wheeler. Back out to Wood and across to Kimbrough. Open for three. Overshoots it, no good. Rebound by Adams. Adams up to Kazosian. Into the corner to McKeague. McKeague looking around and she travels. Tight coverage from Jada Kimbrough forced that traveling violation. Kind of cut off the dribbling lane there without drawing a foul. Good defense from Jada Kimbrough. Wood inside to Makaluski, out to Aga Kitch, to the corner Wheeler, back out to Aga Kitch. Inside to Makaluski again, across to Kimbrough on the wing. Kimbrough back inside Makaluski, fakes, and manages to put up a nice floater there. Good movement by Skylar Makaluski down low as she's got her first points of the day. Kelsey Harris going to try the open three-pointer, and she answers right back and puts the Lions on the board. 7-3. Kimbrough inside to Makaluski. Makaluski running inside, lost the ball, but it goes out to Wood. Pass inside. Makaluski recovers, tries a pass. It's blocked. Boy, 3 near turnovers and one that actually was a turnover for the Brookline offense. Rough possession there as McKeague throws inside. Now thrown back outside to Harris. Back to McKeague at the top. They swing it around into the corner. Kazosian hitting a wall. Throws it across. Harris tries for 3 again. No good this time. The rebound chased down by Kimbrough. Kimbrough throws it up to Wood. Wood lost it off her own foot, and that's going to be a backcourt violation. Wood trying to say it ricocheted off of Sarah Schwartz. And if that's the case, it would not be a backcourt violation. The officials confer and say no, it was off of Wood's leg. I know Brookline fans aren't going to like that call, but personally, I kind of saw it the same way as the officials. I thought it went off of Wood. Harris to her right, up top to Schwartz. Throws looking for McKeague, deflected out of bounds by Kimbrough. Both teams tightly covering the passing lanes to start this one. Schwartz inbounds to Kazosian. Kazosian runs in, throws out. Adams for 3, no good. Rebound Kazosian, going for the putback, hits it, and 1. And no good on the end one. Rebound by Makaluski. Given to Agakic. Over to Kimbrough. Kimbrough fires along 2. Off the rim, no good. Rebound chased down by Adams. Adams brings it across half court. Pass finds McKeague. Steps in. Throws out. They work it around to the corner. Schwartz running in. Passes out. Adams for 3. No good. Rebound Kazosian. And she draws another foul. They say no shot on that foul, so it'll simply be an inbound for Newton South. Running in is Harris. Layup will go. And we got ourselves a tie ball game here at 7 apiece. Agakic over to Kimbrough. Kimbrough's pass deflected, but does get to Makaluski. Throws down low, deflects out of bounds, blocked by Adams. Stays with Brookline. Inbound to Wood, tries the long 2, overshoots it, but it's caught by Agakic, almost like a pass. Given to Kimbrough, thrown out to Agakic, tries for 3, no good. Rebound tipped and taken by Makaluski, gives out to Wood. Thought about the shot, but throws it across. Agakic going to try from the same spot, no good again. Rebound by Adams. McKeague throws up to Schwartz, across to a wide open Harris. She's going to try for 3, and she's going to hit it. Kelsey Harris with the hot hand here in the first quarter. She has 8 of Newton South's 10 points as a timeout is called by Brookline. Brookline's last bucket coming about 2.5 minutes ago as the shots have gone cold for the Warriors. You know, they've been finding openings to the outside, but the shots aren't falling. And if the shots on the outside aren't falling, then you're not going to find more openings on the inside because the opponents won't have to respect that. But give Newton South a lot of credit. They are moving the ball fast these last couple possessions. And, you know, they're creating openings. You know, Kelsey Harris has had a lot of good openings. She's hit 2 shots from downtown. Part of that is that Brookline is playing some aggressive defense. They're trying to make the takeaways, but they're not happening, or they are sometimes happening, but when they're not happening, it's creating a lot of open passing lanes for Newton South, and they're taking advantage with some quick, decisive movement. Out of the timeout, let's see if Brookline's made some adjustments. Agakic gives to Wood. Inside Makaluski. Makaluski decides to go inside herself and puts it up for 2. Skylar Makaluski answers well out of the timeout. Kazosian brings it across half court, looking for the pass, gets it to Schwartz. Back to Kazosian. Kazosian running in, throws out. Schwartz at the top. Dribbling inside. Manages to get a pass across. The shot won't go from number 10, Andrade. Rebound picked up by Sherry Artsy for Brookline. Jada Kimbrough going to try for 3, no good. Rebound by Kazosian. Kazosian runs in, throws up top. Schwartz running in, pass to the corner. Andrade for 3, no good. Rebound by Kazosian, throws down low, blocked by Wood, and it's going to go out of bounds. Newton South ball. Another substitution for Newton South. This is number 21, Salim, checking in, replacing Sarah Schwartz. Unfortunately, the roster I was given for Newton South only had last names, so I'm only going to have first names for the 5 starters. Pass up top to Adams, throws it over to Andrade into the corner. Kazosian tries for 3, no good. Rebound picked up by Salim, throws it out. Andrade tries for 3, and Andrade makes it 13-9. The Lions lead the Warriors here. Wood gives to Kimbrough, over to Agakic down low. Artsy goes inside, no good. Makaluski draws the foul on the putback. Brookline's starting to attack the basket now, and they're finding some decent openings here. If their bigs can fight for those buckets down low, they could really start to open things up as Makaluski hits the first of 2. She's got 5. That foul was called against Kazosian, her first personal, first team foul. For Brookline, number 22, Emerson Chan into the game, replacing Nefeli Agakic. Makaluski 1 for 2 at the line, but Emerson Chan comes out with the offensive board. Pass out to Makaluski, who runs in, throws a bit of a high pass, gets out to Kimbrough, throws it way out to Wood. Inside Makaluski, fighting in again, tries the layup, won't go. Rebound by Salim. Salim covered tight by Kimbrough, and finally she gets the pass away to Kazosian. Kazosian throws up top to Salim. Salim swings over to Harris, tries for 3 again, no good. And that ball deflected out of bounds, and Brookline gets the favorable deflection. 14.5 seconds left here in the first. Brookline trails by 3. Kimbrough to Chan. Chan throws down low. Artsy out to Chan, and Chan thought she was going to get the gather step there, but no. Ball hit her hands before she went for the hop, and they call her for steps. Inbound. Kazosian, pass out. Salim for 3, no good at the buzzer. And that is how the first quarter will end. And this is why we don't play these games on paper, folks. Newton South leading Brookline at the end of 1, 13-10. During this break in the action, I remind you that this broadcast is brought to you in part by Brookline Proven, your local source for home improvement contractors. BHS Sports parent Paul Hamm and his team can do anything from remodels to handyman honey-do lists. They live in Brookline, they work in Brookline, and they know just what a Brookline home needs. Visit brklnproven.com or text Paul at 617-352-8829 to find out more and discuss the scheduling, pricing, and specifics of the services your home needs. Once again, that's brklnproven.com or text 617-352-8829. And thank you again to Brookline Proven for sponsoring this broadcast. And once again, you can see all that information about Brookline Proven in the bottom center of your screen, as well as in the description section down below. 13-10, the Newton South lead as we get ready to start the second quarter here. Schwartz looking for the inbound, gets it in to Kazosian. Kazosian across the top gives to McKeague. McKeague over to Harris. Harris driving in. No good on the shot, but draws the blocking foul by Shiri Artsy. First personal for Artsy, first team foul of the second quarter. And after the ball sits on the rim for about a year, it rolls out. Harris off on the first free throw. In and out on the second one, some bad rim luck for Kelsey Harris as she goes 0 for 2 at the line. Thrown to the corner, Kimbrough going to try the baseline jumper and hits it. Jada Kimbrough getting the scoring started for Brookline, but Kelsey Harris looking to answer back with a quick play, but can't hit the layup. Rebound picked up by Emerson Chan, and now Brookline's running. Izzy Wood collects the ball in the corner, throws it up top to Kimbrough, juggled a bit, but prevents the backcourt violation there. Gives to Wood, inside Mikuleski, backdoor, Shiri Artsy hits the layup, and just like that, in the blink of an eye, Brookline's got the lead again. McKeague over to Adams. Adams throws up to the corner to Harris. Spins off her defender, runs baseline. The pass slapped out of bounds by Shiri Artsy. Take a look at the replay of the bucket by Shiri Artsy. First bench points for Brookline. This pass through traffic is knocked loose and picked up by Wood. Wood throws it up to Kimbrough. Kimbrough back up top to Wood. Across to Chan. Goes down low, Artsy. Artsy going underneath for the reverse, no good. But a rebound by Mikuleski. Throws it out to Wood. Tries for three, no good. Rebound Mikuleski again, out to Kimbrough. Third try is good. Third time's the charm as Jada Kimbrough hits her second from three and now has 8 points, and Brookline's got a run going. Sarah Schwartz with the ball for the Lions. Throws it over to Adams. Adams across to Kazosian. Kazosian running inside, throws out. McKeague for three. No good. Rebound by Artsy. Artsy running in herself, stops pass. Almost miraculously got through to Mikuleski, but it is intercepted. Thrown up to Harris. Extra pass, Kazosian. Down low. Battling with Kimbrough, passes away. They swing around to Adams, tries for three, no good. Rebound by Kimbrough. Kimbrough running in, running floater, gets it. And a timeout called. Jada Kimbrough exploding to start the second quarter. 8 quick points for the Brookline senior captain. And how about her defense on that last possession? Kimbrough, probably the shortest starter for Brookline, matched up with the tallest starter for Newton South in Chloe Kazosian. But Kimbrough didn't give Kazosian an easy path to the basket, and she ended up passing out of it. And Newton South missed the three, and Brookline took it the other way. And just like that, Jada Kimbrough, the first player to reach double digits in tonight's game. She's got 10, 8 of which have been scored in the last 2.5 minutes. Oh, excuse me, actually 7 of which have been scored in the last 2.5 minutes. Got my numbers mixed up for a second. That's my fault. Inbound, knocked away by Emerson Chan. And, oh, they're going to say that it deflected off of Kazosian, and it's actually going to go to Brookline. Kimbrough throws it into Wood. Cross to Chan. Goes inside to Makaluski. Around to Kimbrough. All alone on the wing. Oh, in and out. But a rebound by Chan. But a jump ball called as Adams got her hands on that ball. Newton South got the opening inbound to start the quarter. So this ball will go to Brookline. Kimbrough to the corner to Wood. Pass intercepted, but Schwartz lost it in her feet. And it goes out of bounds. Brookline with a lucky break there. Kimbrough off a screen, steps in, passes out. Chan inside, Artsy. Artsy trying a shot, no good, but does draw the foul. Sherry Artsy really is the exact kind of player you want coming off the bench as a basketball coach. She is a scrappy player, fights for every loose ball, defends anywhere on the floor, and she's not afraid to put the ball up. Hits the first of 2 free throws. Misses the second. Chased down by Kazosian. Kazosian gives to McKeague. Now over to Schwartz. Schwartz pass does get to Harris. Now out to Adams. Fakes the shot, runs inside, throws out to the corner. Schwartz tries for 3, way off, and it's caught by Kimbrough. Kimbrough trying to dribble through traffic. Has to slow it down as Brookline sets up in the half court. Chan inside Makaluski, over to Kimbrough. Kimbrough for 3, hits it again. Jada Kimbrough already with 3 trays on the day, and she's got 13 points. And that foul is going to be called on Emerson Chan. Her first, team's second. But Brookline opening things up here. We talked in the first quarter about how they were getting some good looks outside. They just weren't falling. They're starting to fall now for Jada Kimbrough, at least, as she's hit 3 from downtown already. And Brookline's got a 10-point lead, and Makaluski's got a steal, and Kimbrough's got the pass, and Kimbrough cannot hit on the layup as 2 players go to the floor fighting for that rebound. I think they call a jump ball. Possession arrow to Newton South since Brookline got possession on the last jump ball. Inbound, McKeague. Pass intercepted. Wood throws to Chan. Over to Kimbrough. Kimbrough back out to Chan. Chan to the corner. Wide open is Wood for 3. No good. Overshot it. Kimbrough with the offensive board. And she's blocked from behind by Adams. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Jada Kimbrough plays about 5 or 6 inches taller than she actually is. Her ability to fight for the ball in any situation is such a fun sight to watch. And Kimbrough, boy, right as I was praising her, makes a bit of a mistake there. Made a move back to the 3-point line, spent up her steps, and then after the fake, didn't have a step left as she's called for traveling. Substitution for Brookline, number 10, Hannah Levine, checking in, replacing Izzy Wood. Inbound to Kelsey Harris. Harris throws up to Kazosian. Kazosian, pass out. Running in is Andrade. Pass across. Adams for 3. No good. And that's going to bounce out of bounds. Brookline ball. The shots have gone cold for Newton South. Give them credit. They're still moving the ball pretty well, I would say. As Brookline brings in 2 substitutions. Ivy Wheeler and Skylar Makaluski back out on the floor. Kimbrough goes away from the screen. Pass to the corner to Wheeler. Now over to Makaluski. Makaluski runs in. Floater won't go. Rebound by Kazosian. Kazosian Across the top. Gives to McKeague. McKeague runs in. Layup won't go. Rebound Andrade. Looking around. Pass out to McKeague. McKeague looking. Pass inside to a cutting Adams. Won't get the shot, but she will draw the foul. A nice off-ball cut. And now Adams will go to the line for 2 as the foul was called against Chan. Second personal, third team foul. Adams off on the first free throw. Remember, fans, 5 fouls in a quarter for a team, and that triggers the double bonus. 2 free throws for the rest of the quarter. Second free throw, no good. Adams 0 for 2 at the line. Makaluski the rebound. Gives to Nefeli Agakic, who's checked back into the game. Kimbrough floats inside. Makaluski driving in. Plants her foot. Turnaround shot won't go. Rebound by Agakic. Kazosian gets her hands on it and wrenches it loose. And it's recovered by Harris. Harris, pass across. Kazosian running floater, no good. Rebound tipped out to McKeague. McKeague up top. Trying for 3 is Harris, no good. And, Kimbrough, did she touch it? They say she did. Couldn't quite get that rebound, but got her fingertips on it, and so it will be Newton South ball. A rough quarter for the Lions offense. They have not scored yet in the second frame. Harris receives the inbound. Pass intercepted. Kimbrough off to the races on the fast break. Stops. Oh, are they going to call the travel? They do. They heard the squeak of the shoes and called Kimbrough for the extra half step. It's too bad. It was a smart play by her, both on the interception and on the stop for the fast break layup. As Kazosian gets a passway to Andrade, shot won't go again for Newton South as Makaluski takes it the other way. Makaluski runs inside. Beautiful move to the hoop by Skylar Makaluski, and 1. Look at this one. Beautiful steps to the hoop. Off on the end 1. Makaluski with 7 points tonight. Kazosian with less than 2 minutes before halftime. Running in, pass out. Harris open for 3 and hits it. And finally, the scoreless streak comes to an end for the Lions. And Kelsey Harris, the first Newton South player to reach double digits tonight. She's got 11. Makaluski throws out to Hannah Levine. Now over to Kimbrough. Swings it across to Agakic, across to Levine, inside to Makaluski, who escapes the defense of Kazosian and lays it up for 2 more. 9 points now for Makaluski as Agakic takes that ball away. Pass inside, out to Levine, up top Wheeler, pass deflected but gets to Agakic. Agakic in the corner, looking, and a timeout gonna be called by Brookline as things are getting a little hairy on that possession. Skylar Makaluski having one of her best games in the post that she's had in a good bit. Makaluski got out to a really hot start to the season. Scored double digits in 5 of the first 6 games of the year. The only single-digit effort was 9 points, so literally 1 short of keeping that streak going all the way through the month of December. Been a bit of a slower start to the month of January. She scored 0 points in the first game of the new calendar year and then 2 in the second, but dropped 13 in the third. And now she's got 9 tonight. She seems to be rediscovering her form here in 2026. 27-16 Brookline has outscored Newton South 17-3 here in the second frame after trailing 13-10 at the end of one. Inbound, Makaluski. Cross upper defender runs in, goes up and in. Skylar Makaluski has double digits in the first half. She's got 11. Andrade running the other way. Layup won't go, but a foul is going to be called on Kimbrough. Again, scrappy play from Jada Kimbrough, getting back and at least preventing the shot from going in. Let's take a look again. Makaluski playing well down low. Andrade hits the first of 2 free throws. She's got 4 tonight. And she goes 2 for 2. 53.2 seconds left. Allison Levy off the bench takes the inbound and miscommunicates with Nefeli Agakic to lose the ball. Andrade inbounds to Harris. Harris running in, pass down low, Adams. Pass miscommunicates with Kazosian, and that is going to be a backcourt violation. .1 seconds left as Brookline gets the ball right back. Kimbrough looking around, gives to Agakic. Fakes the shot, runs in, running floater. Can't get it on the rim roll as that one bounces out of bounds. Last touched by Agakic. A slick move on the fake, and she almost made the running floater go, but nothing doing there. Harris off the inbound, running. Pass up, Andrade, back out to Harris. Tries for 3, no good. Rebound, Andrade. Andrade going inside, hits the layup. Andrade with 7 points off the bench for the Lions. Just over 10 seconds left before halftime. Kimbrough off a screen, gives to Wheeler. Wheeler, Agakic, gonna fire from deep and hits it. Nefeli Agakic just before the half with a deep shot, and Brookline will go into the break leading by 12. Our score at halftime, the Brookline High Warriors 32, the Newton South Lions 20. Brookline outscoring Newton South 22-7 in that second frame. As we go into this halftime break, I remind you this broadcast is brought to you in part by Brookline Proven, your local source for home improvement contractors. BHS sports parent Paul Hom and his team can do anything from remodels to handyman honey-do lists. They live in Brookline, they work in Brookline, and they know just what a Brookline home needs. Visit brklnproven.com or text Paul at 617-352-8829 to find out more and discuss the scheduling, pricing, and specifics of the services your home needs. Once again, that's brklnproven.com or text 617-352-8829. And thank you again to Brookline Proven for sponsoring this broadcast. And once again, you can see all the information you need about Brookline Proven down in the bottom middle of your screen, as well as in the description section of this video down below. Also in the description section, you can see some other helpful links. There's a link to the official Venmo account of the Triple Threat Booster Club, the official booster club of Brookline High Girls Basketball. And you can also see a link and phone number for our local charity spotlight for today, the Brookline Education Foundation. The Brookline Education Foundation raises funds to help promote growth and innovation among Brookline educators, growth that can then be passed on to the children of this community. For over 40 years, this foundation has given out a variety of grants across the educational landscape. These include Idea Lab grants for teachers that want to present their students with new and exciting projects, and teacher grants for educators that want to further develop their own skills to bring to the classroom. Many initiatives which have become staples in the public schools of Brookline started as BEF grants. They support literacy education training, new methods in STEM education, project-based learning, mentoring of new principals and superintendents, and collaborative work around diversity, equity, and inclusion, just to name a few. Visit brooklinefoundation.org or call 617-232-3846 to find out how you can help support our town's educators and, through them, our students. Once again, that's brooklinefoundation.org or call 617-232-3846. And once again, all these links and phone numbers in the description section of the video down below. Brookline 32, Newton South 20 here at halftime from Newton South High School in Newton, Massachusetts. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. I'm going to take a break, mute the mic, and run a YouTube ad break, but I'll be back with the second half of this ball game. Stay tuned. Hello again, everybody. Back on the mic, I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan, coming to you live from Newton South High School in Newton, Massachusetts, here to bring you the second half of this high school varsity girls basketball contest between the visiting Brookline High Warriors and the hosting Newton South Lions. Brookline with a handy 32-20 lead at the half, as we now get ready to start the second half here. Izzy Wood hands the ball off to Nefeli Agakic, running inside for a running floater, won't go, but gets her own rebound. No good on the putback, though. Rebound by Chloe Kazosian, throws it up to Andrade, running the other way. No good, but draws the foul. They're going to call that foul on Skylar Makaluski, her first personal, first team foul. Andrade off on the first free throw. And she hits the second. Andrade with 8 points off the bench for this Newton South team. Wood running in, throws to the corner. Skylar Makaluski driving in, finds the hole, and finds the hoop for two. Skylar Makaluski's been lethal on the dribble drive today. Newton South quickly running the other way. Kelsey Harris throws it out to Quinn Adams. Back to Harris, tries for three and hits it. Answer right back from Kelsey Harris. She leads the Lions with 14 points, including 4 3-pointers and a timeout called early. Again, Makaluski's had just such great moves to the hoop. You know, the slow start she's had to this new calendar year, some of it's just that the layups just aren't going for her. You know, opposing defenses covering the angles well. But today, you know, even without a 100% wide open layup, she's been making these shots. You know, if this is an aspect of her game that is continuing to grow and improve, then she has the potential, and I said this in a previous game, she has the potential to be a really scary player. For opponents, that is. Out of the timeout, Kimbrough's pass broken up by Kazosian, and it goes off the hands of Makaluski, out of bounds, Newton South ball. Inbound goes back to Sarah Schwartz. Schwartz throws it up to Andrade. Andrade going inside, blocked thunderously by Skylar Makaluski. Inbound knocked loose by Ivy Wheeler, but picked up by Kazosian. Pass out to Harris. Harris down to the baseline, pass out Kazosian. Kazosian tries to spin, nothing there. Pass to Harris, broken up, but gets to her. Pass out to Andrade, now out to Harris. Harris running in, across to Schwartz. Schwartz driving through, lost the ball off her foot, and it's picked up by Nefeli Agakic. Agakic ended the half with a buzzer-beating three. She runs in, throws to the corner. Ivy Wheeler, no good on the three-pointer. Rebound chased down by Harris. Quinn Adams throws it up to Schwartz. Schwartz running in to the corner. Andrade for three, and she hits it. Andrade with 11 points. And Newton South has cut the lead down to 7. Kimbrough over to Wheeler. Across the top, hands off, juggled, but Wood manages to recover it. Over to the corner, Makaluski hits traffic, dribbles out, barely got the pass away to Wheeler. Now Kimbrough over to Agakic, less than 10 seconds to shoot, they gotta find something. Agakic running inside, puts up a shot off the rim, but no good. Rebound by Harris, up to Andrade. Andrade, turn around, out to Harris. They swing it around, Schwartz gonna try for three, no good. Rebound Andrade. Out to Schwartz, running floater, won't go. Rebound, chased down this time by Kimbrough. Kimbrough running, pass to Wood. tried the extra pass, and it's intercepted by Harris. Harris, pass out to Adams. Adams across to Andrade. Andrade floats it over to Harris. Open three, no good off the front rim. Rebound by Kimbrough, and she's going to slow things down and operate in the half court. Wheeler gives to Agakic. Hands off to Wood. Back to Wheeler. Over to Makaluski. Makaluski on the drive. Tried the left-hander, but gets blocked. I think it was Adams on the block as she came in to help Gazosian. Two subs coming in for Brookline now. Jaden Williams, number 12, seeing the floor for the first time tonight. Sherry Artsy also coming in. They replace Kimbrough and Makaluski. Inbound to Wood. Goes down low to Artsy. Artsy pass out to Agakic. 5 seconds to shoot. Agakic draws a foul. Two of the most recent possessions, Agakic has done a good job getting a shot up late in the shot clock, this time drawing a foul off on the first free throw. The foul itself called against Chloe Gazosian, her second personal first team foul. Agakic 0 for 2 at the line, Gazosian the rebound. Pass up to Harris, Harris for three, no good, rebound tipped. Andrade takes it, ball's knocked free, and she's called for the travel. She fell down with the ball without dribbling, and that's a travel call. 7-point game. Brookline has had just 2 points through the first 4 minutes of this third quarter after exploding for 22 in the second frame. Wood almost lost it, gets the pass away to Agakic. Agakic running inside, layup is good, and one. Agakic has been forced to force up some less than ideal looks, but she has been able to make some of them happen, like this one here. No good on the end one. Rebound Gazosian. Chucks it up to a wide open Libby McKeague, and she gets the layup for her first points of the night. An answer right back from the Lions cuts the lead back down to 7. Agakic driving in again, putting it up, no good this time. Rebound by Adams. Adams a pass back, completes Andrade, steps in, passes out, McKeague for three, in and out. Rebound Gazosian out to Harris. Harris for three, and Harris hits the tray. It's a 4-point game as Kelsey Harris now has 17 tonight, including 5 3-pointers. Wheeler driving in. Wheeler puts up the layup, no good. Rebound by Andrade. Harris walks up and fires. Harris again. Or no, that was McKeague, I think. Libby McKeague hits the 3-pointer. It's a 1-point game, folks. It was a 12-point game when we started this quarter, and Brookline's offense has gone completely cold. Just 2 made shots from the field for Brookline in this second half. And of note for Brookline, while their top scorers have performed, those 3 top scorers accounting for 33 of Brookline's 36 points. They're going to need some other players to step up and provide some depth of scoring if they want to be able to survive this comeback push from the Lions. Funnily enough, both teams just 4 different point scorers. Kimbrough back in the game out of the timeout, gives to Agakic. Agakic floating it inside to Makaluski. Somehow caught it in traffic. Out to Kimbrough, who tries for three, but her shot was blocked by Andrade. And the rebound picked up by Harris. And a foul going to be called on Agakic there. That'll be her first personal, first team foul. Second team foul, excuse me. Andrade inbounds to Kazosian. Kazosian going inside, shot won't go. Good defense down low by Ivy Wheeler. Wheeler gives to Agakic, hands off to Kimbrough. Swings it over to Williams. Williams running in, gives to Agakic. Agakic over to Makaluski. Makaluski going inside, left-handed layup is good. Makaluski back in the game, answering well with another layup. McKeague, pass over, Harris running in, pass to Kazosian. Kazosian, turnaround, pass up top for three. No good on the shot from McKeague, and the rebound chased down by Wheeler. Over to Kimbrough. Kimbrough hands off to Williams. Williams hands off to Makaluski. Makaluski gives to Wheeler. Wheeler to Agakic, who fires for three. No good, catches air. And it will be Newton South ball. Harris taking the inbound, 1.5 minutes left in the quarter. 3-point game as Harris running coast to coast. No good on the layup, but draws the foul call on Kimbrough. Kimbrough called for her third personal foul, third team foul on Brookline as Harris hits the first of two. Taking a look at the last layup by Makaluski. Harris 2 for 2 at the line. 19 points tonight for Kelsey Harris. It's a 1-point game again with just over a minute left in the third. Kimbrough over to Chan. Chan sees a lane, goes inside, gets blocked, recovers the ball herself, but the pass intercepted by Harris. Harris throws up to Kazosian. Kazosian from the corner. Looking for room. No good on the layup off the front rim, but it bounces out of bounds off of Kimbrough. And it will stay Newton South ball with 50.7 seconds left in the third. Andrade inbounds, Kazosian back and down, turnaround shot is in. Chloe Kazosian gives Newton South their first lead since the start of the second quarter. Makaluski spins, going up, no good, draws the foul. Makaluski using her entire wingspan to draw that foul call. And a big trip to the free throw line coming up here as Kazosian called for her third personal and third team foul. Makaluski hits the first of two. And with that free throw, Makaluski ties her career high. Misses the second. Rebound, Kazosian. Long pass up, finds Adams across to McKeague. McKeague lays it in, and Newton South takes back the lead just like that. Pass up to Chan. Chan going inside. Emerson Chan, what a response. Ties it back up with her first points of the night. Adams to the corner, McKeague for three. No good, rebound Kimbrough. Kimbrough running up, chucks it up. Almost rebounded by Makaluski as Kimbrough had a few more seconds than she thought. And that brings an end to the third quarter with the score tied at the end of 3. 41-41 with 1 quarter left to play. During this break between the 3rd and 4th quarter, I'm going to take a quick second and change out my battery pack. Screen will go black on you for a second. Just bear with it. And there we go. Reset the zoom? Why would it do that? That's silly. Okay, we got it back. Easy fix. During this break between the 3rd and 4th quarter, I remind you this broadcast is brought to you in part by Brookline Proven, your local source for home improvement contractors. BHS Sports parent Paul Hom and his team can do anything from remodels to handyman honey-do lists. They live in Brookline, they work in Brookline, and they know just what a Brookline home needs. Visit brklnproven.com or text Paul at 617-352-8829 to find out more and discuss the scheduling, pricing, and specifics of the services your home needs. And thank you again to Brookline Proven for sponsoring this broadcast. All that information you need down in the bottom center of your screen and in the description section. 1 quarter left to play. We're all knotted up at 41 between Brookline and Newton South. A pass to the baseline. Andrade gets the baseline jumper. She's got 13 points tonight. Newton South has the lead. A pass up to the corner. Emerson Chan running in and draws the foul. Emerson Chan coming alive late in this one for Brookline. She had Brookline's last bucket of the 3rd quarter as we take a look at that replay. Off on the first free throw. And she goes 1 for 2 at the line. A 1-point lead for Newton South. Harris bringing it up. Pass somehow gets through to Andrade, outside to Schwartz. Schwartz throws it across. They send it out to McKeague, tries for 3, no good. Rebound by Aga Kitch, fends off the Newton South players, chucks a pass up to Emerson Chan. She's going to try the baseline jumper, overshoots it. Rebound tipped and picked up by Schwartz. Given to Andrade. Andrade running in, pass out to Adams. Adams to Schwartz, to McKeague, to the corner. Harris open for another 3, but no good this time. Rebound Schwartz, given to Andrade. Left-handed layup won't go. Rebound tipped and collected by Adams. They swing it around to Harris. Harris running inside, blocked by Makaluski. It'll stay with Newton South, but Brookline got to be stronger on the boards if they want to be able to finish strong against Newton South here. Izzy Wood checking back in for the Warriors, replacing Wheeler. Inbound disrupted and picked up by Wood after it was deflected by Chan. Kimbrough bringing it up, pass to Wood. Wood open for 3, no good. Rebound by Adams. Pass stolen. Wood going inside, forces the layup, it won't go. Shots just not falling for Izzy Wood so far tonight. Adams throws it up to Harris. Harris running inside, turning around, pass deflected by Chan, picked up by Adams, throws it across, open for 3 is McKeague. No good, rebound Chan. Emerson Chan providing a bit of a spark here late for Brookline as she goes through for another huge layup. Emmy Chan fighting big for Brookline late in this one. She's got 5 tonight. Schwartz pass deflected by Wood, picked up by Kimbrough, thrown up, wide open. Makaluski goes up and hits it. Skylar Makaluski with a huge bucket, and she's got a new career high with 18 points tonight. And all of that started with the deflection by Izzy Wood. Give her a lot of credit. You know, she's got a goose egg on the score sheet tonight, but she is still making her presence known and making the contributions to her team however she can. And, you know, she's got 2 big steals out of the last, 3 possessions, one of them leading to a basket. Brookline on a 5-0 run. They've got a 3-point lead here with 5:45 to go. Out of the timeout, Schwartz lost control of her dribble. She needs somewhere to go on the pass. Floats up to McKeague. McKeague lost the ball. Collided with Agakic and lost it, and it's picked up by Wood. Chucks it up to Makaluski. Back out to Wood and over to Chan. Chan to the corner. Agakic up top to Wood. Around to Makaluski. Pass it around the horn again. Over to Kimbrough, running baseline. Floater won't go. Rebound by Harris. Harris taking it the other way. Running with it. Layup blocked. Emerson Chan again. After that stop, an inbound to McKeague. Pass deflected by Kimbrough, but recovered by Schwartz. Pass over to Andrade. Andrade over to McKeague in the corner, running baseline. Floater is in. Libby McKeague with 9 points tonight. That's a 1-point ball game again. Over to Chan. Chan running baseline, pass across Kimbrough. Corner 3 attempt, no good. Rebound Wood. Wood blocked on the putback. Collects it. Loose ball to Agakic. Up top, Kimbrough driving in, running floater is good. Jada Kimbrough's been held off the score sheet all second half until that point. A big point for her. She's got 15. Harris pass out to Andrade. Into the corner. Adams inside. Deflected by Wood to the corner. Harris for 3. Overshoots it. Out of bounds. Newton South ball. Inbound. Adams for 3. Off the top of the backboard. No out of bounds call, but it missed anyway. Rebounded by Makaluski. Makaluski running all the way coast to coast. Gets the rim bounce on the layup. Skylar Makaluski with the first 20-point game of her high school career. McKeague lost her dribble, floats a pass up, finds Schwartz. Schwartz pass deflected a couple times and a foul called on Wood. Makaluski has been so lethal on the layups tonight. We already knew she was a great slasher. It's just a matter of getting the hot hand when finishing at the rim, and she's had the hot hand all night long. And she gets the steal. Makaluski gets it away to Agakic. Chucks it up to Chan. Chan running inside. Emerson Chan with the hot hand off the bench herself. 7 points for the freshman, but a quick run the other way. Harris going up, no good. Was pursued by Kimbrough from behind. Wood up to Makaluski. Makaluski stops, pass out. Agakic thought about the 3 ball and thought a little too much. Called for the travel there. Emerson Chan with the latest layup. And that is a new career high for Emerson Chan as well, as she's got 7 tonight. A 7-point lead for Brookline here. as after a cold third quarter, they have rediscovered their offense here in the fourth and final frame. And they found some of the depth of scoring that they had been sorely lacking. And I say some because really it's all been coming from Emerson Chan. The only second half bench points for Brookline coming from the freshman. Individual point totals so far: Skylar Makaluski with a new career high of 20. Jada Kimbrough with 15. Nefeli Agakich and Emerson Chan with 7 apiece. A new career high for Chan with that 7 mark. And Shiri Artsy rounding him out with 3. For Newton South, Kelsey Harris with 19 points. Andrade with 13. Libby McKeague with 9. And Chloe Kazosian with 4. Out of the timeout, Harris gives to Adams. Adams throws it across. Kazosian backing down, going inside. Pass across, around, stolen. Emerson Chan taking off with it. And a foul. Oh, I see what the officials are saying. And while some of the fans might be upset, they're not actually making up the rule. It's actually, you're not allowed to be the first one to touch the ball after you go out of bounds. And they're saying that what happened was that Emerson Chan stepped out of bounds, stepped back in bounds, but was the first to touch the ball for her team after stepping out of bounds. That is a violation of the rules. Correctly called by the officials, as frustrating as it might be, but less frustrating for Brookline is another steal by Izzy Wood. Gives it back to Kimbrough, who lays it in for 2. Izzy Wood continuing the great defense as now Makaluski bats that one out of bounds. The Brookline defense heating up, and what a spark plug Izzy Wood has been on that defense here in the fourth. Harris gives to Andrade. Running up, and a foul is going to be called on Agakich for the reach there. Second personal foul on Agakich, second team foul here in the fourth quarter. 2.5 to go. Brookline now up by 9 as Kimbrough bats that one out of bounds. What a run Brookline has been on. Newton South got the first bucket of the fourth quarter to break a 41-41 tie, go up 43-41, but since then, Brookline has been on a 13-2 run the rest of this frame. Kazosian, pass up top to McKeague. McKeague driving inside, layup is good. Libby McKeague, the third Newton South player to reach double digits. She's got 11. Makaluski running in, spinning, pass out. Chan gonna try for 3. Off the top of the backboard, out of bounds. 2:06 to play. Brookline leads by 7. Andrade looking for the inbound, gives to Harris, back to Andrade. Andrade breaking the press, throws up to McKeague, juggles the ball. Pass into traffic. Andrade gets the extra pass away to Quinn Adams, who gets her first points of the night. A 5-point game coming down to the wire here in Newton. Kimbrough over to Wood. Wood to Makaluski. Makaluski going inside, pass through to Agakich. Fires up a quick shot as she was hit. Good instincts there as she gets a trip to the line. Agakich swishes through the first free throw. She had a tough third quarter at the line, was 0 for 3 on free throws in the third. Goes 1 for 2 at the line here. Kazosian taking it the other way. Running in, passing out. Adams for 3, no good. Another rebound for Jada Kimbrough. Kimbrough across to Wood. Out to Makaluski. Makaluski on the dribble drive again. She's been lethal all night long and continues to be lethal. 22 points for Skylar Makaluski. Andrade sprinting the other way, and she hits the layup to answer back, and a timeout is called. 15 points for Andrade. A great effort off the bench for the Lions there, but Skylar Makaluski just matched the highest individual scoring output of the season for Brookline, as she's now got 22 points. She has surpassed her previous career best by 6. Individual point totals so far: 22 for Skylar Makaluski, 17 for Jada Kimbrough, 8 for Nefeli Agakic, 7 for Emerson Chan, and 3 for Shiri Artsy. For Newton South, 19 for Kelsey Harris, as she's had a fantastic day from the three-point line. 11 points for Libby McKeague, 15 points off the bench from Andrade, 4 points from Chloe Kazosian, and 2 from Quinn Adams. A long chucking inbound up to Kimbrough. Kimbrough running floater, banks in for 2. Jada Kimbrough having herself a great game. She's got 19 points. And Brookline's got an 8-point lead with time ticking down. In the corner, Harris spins. Pass across. Adams going to try for 3. No good. Rebound by Kimbrough. Floats it up to Wood. Wood slowing it down. Pass deflected. Looks like either out of bounds off Newton South or a foul. I think it was out of bounds called. Kimbrough goes to Chan. Chan goes inside. Reverse layup is good. Emerson Chan with the moves down low. What a night she's having. She's got 9. Harris, pass out, up top. Kazosian for 3, no good. Rebound, Makaluski. And now Brookline can just hold the ball and let time tick away. The Brookline High Warriors survive an impressive comeback push by the Newton South Lions. The final score, the Brookline High Warriors 61, the Newton South High Lions 51. Newton South suffers their 5th straight loss and falls to 2-9, but you know what? No shame to be had in a loss like this for Newton South. They went up against a team that was 23 spots higher than them in the power rankings this morning. They took a lead on them at the end of 1. They put up a powerful comeback push through the 3rd quarter. Took the lead to start the 4th. Couldn't quite finish down the stretch. But you know what? They put up an insane effort, I would say. Hats off to Newton South in this one. Brookline, meanwhile, their 3rd win of the new calendar year and their 5th win in 6 games dating back to the holiday tournament. Or no, their 6th win in 7 games, actually, dating back to their nail-biter win over Newton North. After starting the season 0-3, Brookline has gone 6-1 since then. They have really found their rhythm. Final individual point totals here today. Skylar Makaluski tying the highest individual scoring output of the season for Brookline and setting a new career high with 22 points. Jada Kimbrough not quite reaching her career high, but coming pretty close. An impressive night of her own with 19. Emerson Chan, the freshman, with a new career high of 9 points, finishing with this last impressive reverse layup under the hoop. Nefeli Agakic with 8 points, and Shiri Artsy rounding out the scoring for Brookline with 3. For Newton South, Kelsey Harris with 19 points, including 5 shots hit from beyond the arc. Andrade with 15 off the bench for the Lions. Libby McKeague with 11 points. Chloe Kazosian with 4, and Quinn Adams with 2. Well, that's going to do it for this one. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Thank you again to Brookline Proven for sponsoring this broadcast. Brookline Proven, your local source for home improvement contractors. BHS Sports parent Paul Hom and his team can do anything from remodels to handyman honeydew lists. They live in Brookline, they work in Brookline, and they know just what a Brookline home needs. Visit brklnproven.com or text Paul at 617-352-8829 to find out more and discuss the scheduling, pricing, and specifics of the services your home needs. Once again, that's brklnproven.com or text 617-352-8829. And thank you again to Brookline Proven for sponsoring this broadcast. All the information you need about Brookline Proven in the bottom center of your screen, as well as in the description section down below. You can also find down in the description section the link to the official Venmo account of the Triple Threat Booster Club, the official booster club of Brookline High Girls Basketball, as well as a link and phone number for our local charity spotlight, Brookline Education Foundation, as well as some links related to me, my personal website, jessesports.com, where you can find out more about me, the freelance sports broadcasting services that I provide to various teams, and how you can commission those services for your favorite team. Or if you want to skip past all that, you can email me directly with any questions, requests, or comments that you may have. I'll be posting highlights from this game later tonight or tomorrow on this channel, as well as on my social media accounts on Instagram and Facebook. You can see the links to those social media accounts on Instagram and Facebook down in the description section down below, as well as in the bottom right corner of your screen right there. Brookline 61, Newton South 51. From Newton South High School in Newton, Massachusetts, I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Thank you all for watching, and have a good night.